this, I guess, go around. But one other thing that we wanted to talk about is it's a rumor, but it was reported by ESPN India first, and then regular ESPN, the U.S. network, picked it up. There are rumors that Alfa Romeo is lining up Bottas for 2022, meaning that they are making him their main target as a driver ad for the next season.
So is Kimi retiring?
If he doesn't sign with Mercedes.
If he doesn't sign with Mercedes.
That's the caveat.
Is Kimi retiring?
I don't know.
It doesn't seem like Kimi's too happy there.
No, he's not. The car sucks.
There was some car. Yeah, exactly. He's like he doesn't feel that the team is developing.
It's tough this year.
Developing the car fast enough in order for them to go
this year
fast.
Tough to demand
right, exactly. If I'm Alpha, I'm like, you know what?
Yeah.
Yo, my dude,
chill out,
dude.
Chill out. So I mean, the car seems to be getting slower, but I think it's not a matter of like they just can't do it. It's just I think they're allocating their resources for next year. As most
and Giovinazzi's driving the fine.
Yeah, but I mean they're not. I mean the thing is that for the first few races you were looking at that car and you could say, all right, they can fight for points, but now they're not really fighting for anything. Well, but to the bottom, like at the bottom tier, like maybe like a 10th place or a 9th place, But now, I mean, they've scored some points, but it's not a consistent contender.
Just to talk on Alfa Romeo, I feel like if you're Kimi, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I'm Kimi, if I'm Giovinazzi, I'm looking at Ferrari. Wow, look at Charles Leclerc. He was in first place for how many laps at Silverstone? Yeah. Wow, he's been on the podium. Where's our improvement? Let's call it the same engine. Granted, one's a works team, one's a customer team. But like we should be able to make the same jump, and we're back, not even fighting with the Alpines, the Aston Martins.
Well, I mean,
they're not in the mix.
I think it's just a matter of resources.
Yeah,
they are a small team,
right,
compared to a Ferrari or a Red Bull or a Mercedes or even an Aston Martin.
Right,
Aston Martin is
it's $145 million cost cap, but that doesn't mean you have to spend up to that.
Right, and that doesn't mean that you can spend up to that.
Right.
So, yeah, and what do you guys think? Do you think that? I think for maybe it looks like Kimi is going to be retiring. I know that after this year, for a Ferrari driver, academy driver, does not have to be in one of those seats. So, Frederick Vasseur, which is the team principal at Alfa Romeo, does have his choice on both drivers, not just one. So, I mean, you have also the rumor that they were looking at Schumacher to come in at Alfa Romeo also. So they get rid of both. You have Schumacher and, I think the key to the driver market is going to be what Mercedes does with Bottas. Do they sign him or do they not? If they don't sign him, then
musical chairs.
Let's go, baby. Yeah. Then we're getting ready to discuss a lot of driver transfers.
Shuffling.
Yeah, man.
So, I mean, we were talking about it right before we started recording. Let's start with that first domino. Does Mercedes re-sign Valtteri Bottas?
They have to.
I think so. As much as I would love for them not to sign him, just to see what happens, like I said before, and I'll keep saying it again, they're not going to put George Russell next to Lewis Hamilton at this point in the game. You have your number one driver already, which is Lewis Hamilton.
I agree with you on that.
7-time world champion, 99-time
you can't bring a young kid to embarrass
winner.
You can't bring somebody that is going to be more hungry.
Arguably the best qualifier in the game.
Is that what you think, that he's going to be embarrassed by George Russell?
Not like but when I say embarrassed is you're going to bring a kid that's probably going to be right. I mean, Bottas brought his tails too to qualify, so it's just
to qualify, not on the race.
I know, but on the race,
it's not about him. I think that's the wrong choice of words. It's not about embarrassing. It's just that you're going to want a more harmonious atmosphere.
Well, you threw out the 50 Cent word. You got to pay pretty much next time for that.
Harmonious
you would not get to see something that happened like bad on Leclerc and Ferrari. That's what you're saying. So that's pretty much what's going to happen.
That's what's going to happen.
That's
exactly what's going to happen.
Nico Rosberg and Hamilton.
Yeah, that's what's coming back if he doesn't.
And it took Nico Rosberg was competitive for most of the time when he was there. So he was right there on his heels. It just got real ugly. But I wouldn't expect anything. If you have a young driver, and we've seen that as good as George Russell has been, definitely still makes mistakes. He's still feisty, to say, and he is not going to take the team orders as good or as in good spirits as a Bottas would. Even though you see sometimes that Bottas is a little bit angry, but he questions it. But at the end of the day, he is a team player. Not saying that George Russell's not, but I think Valtteri Bottas will handle him in a more professional way.
Than Russell, yes.
Yeah, we've seen Russell hit out, especially after that crash in Imola, how he made a big hoopla, how, Bottas, if it was another driver, Bottas wouldn't have done what he did, which was all BS anyways, but Toto had to sit him down and put him in his place. I don't think that now that you're involving your number one driver, the 7-time world champion, I don't think that's something that you're going to want to bring onto the team. I don't think that's something that Toto Wolff wants to. They
don't want the aura anymore.
They don't want that atmosphere at the team. And I think if they do bring Russell in, not that I'm saying that it's going to happen, but there's a more potential of something wrong. That happen.
Yeah. So I'm going to read it was on essentiallysports.com. I don't even know if it's an accurate source or whatever, but the story came out yesterday. Toto Wolff, affirms bad news for Valtteri Bottas amidst likely farewell 2021 season with Mercedes. That was their headline, not mine. The quote from Toto Wolff that they're using here: "It is very important because statistically, his odds to win the championship are very small compared to Lewis, who is very much in the fight." What does that mean? They're supposing that it's going to be just driver orders the rest of the way from Valtteri Bottas.
Wow.
Which makes sense. He's not in the running. I mean, if you look at the driver standings, he's what?
He's fourth.
He's fourth place.
5 points.
Lewis has 177 points, is 108. I mean, unless Max is 185. So yeah, he's in the running for third place with Lando and Sergio Perez. But his fight is not with Lewis. So at this point in the season, when you have such a huge points gap, which is what, 69 points.
Nice.
That's about three DNFs that you need. Yeah, he's not going to. There's no way he'll beat Lewis Hamilton or Max in the championship. Well, but I'm just talking about the intra-team battle.
Yeah,
Lewis Hamilton in the championship. So yeah, it's going to be team orders for him. He's going to be the team player, and to his credit, that's what he did the last race. He gave way to Lewis Hamilton, no issue, obviously, because he understood that he was on a strategy that Lewis could easily beat him because Lewis had fresher tires. He had to pit earlier to cover Lando. And he also did. Well, they instructed him to look at Lewis's car after the first lap crash to see if there was any damage. And he looked. He said, "I don't see anything." But he's a good team player, which is why I say he's not a bad driver. He's a good number 2 driver, but he's also a good driver to keep a harmonious atmosphere in the team.
Yeah, because he's quiet.
I wish I had like a drop with little birds.
This is not the Care Bears. It's Formula One, man.
It's not the Care Bears.
Formula One.
A harmonious atmosphere. So yeah, I mean,
you're in
little birds chirping. I can't whistle. Jesus, I'm trying to be all zen and peaceful.
No, I'm just. You know what?
Like Mercedes.
It's not so much.
What Mercedes has.
Yeah,
it's not so much that, right? What I am looking at you incredulously. That's my 50. Here's my 50 cents.
There we go.
What is that?
So look,
I'm gonna Google it right now.
Lewis Hamilton has not won every race this season, right? He has at times not even been top 2, but most of the time he's there. What if the other Mercedes drivers was challenging for a race win? That would benefit you both in the Constructors' Championship, and you wouldn't have to worry about. Granted, there could be accidents like Spain back with 2016, where your 2 drivers collide. But I would rather have my 2 drivers cannibalizing themselves and the Red Bull or the whatever the competitive driver is for the championship. I'd rather have the two best drivers in that seat rather than be harmonious and essentially taking it up the butt from Red Bull where they could have a better driver there and seal away that World Constructors Championship.
I think that scenario works if there's really nobody else challenging for the championship. So it would have worked.
Constructors or drivers?
Well, for the drivers. Because maybe that would have, and it kind of played out that way last season where it was only the two Mercedes drivers really in the championship hunt.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. That works out. But then when you add a third or fourth team that's challenging for the drivers' championship or even the constructor championship, what you're having is drivers, your drivers taking points off of each other.
Right.
Instead of working in tandem. So that works if it's like we said, how it's worked out for most of the hybrid era, except for maybe the 2 years that Ferrari was actually where Sebastian Vettel was
18 and 19?
Yeah, 18 and 19 or 17, 18 and 19.
Okay.
Well, 17 and
17
18.
and 18 really, yeah.
17 and 18.
Cheating engine.
Yeah, whatever.
We're both wearing red Mercedes hats, by the way. This is a little weird.
Yeah. Eventually you guys come to the dark side. So yeah, that works, but when you add another team, when you're fighting a different team, then you're worried about your drivers taking points off of each other. And then you can have accidents where none of the cars finish and then you have the other team finishing. So it's a big risk. Right. It's definitely a balance. But you rather have what's happening now where you have the top two drivers on different teams and then you have the number two drivers in support being the rear gunner.
I guess. And I'm gonna give you the example that's already transpired. 2007, right? Hamilton and Alonso fighting it out. Hamilton's rookie year. And who was the championship? None other than Kimi Räikkönen.
Because they were
because they were taking points off of each other.
But
fine. I'm surprised.
It'll be a lot more fun for us if it's that way. But at the end of the day, it is a team sport.
So given all these team orders, what do you think Valtteri Bottas would say?
To whom it may concern you.
Damn, son.
If he gets to that point,
that wasn't a home run, but that was like a solid double.
I don't know about that because I had to tee it up. He should have been already hit that. He's not going anywhere, is what you guys said.
Listen, bro, we have to give him encouragement until he gets to the point where he's comfortable.
You're the carrot, I'm the stick.
By himself.
Oh, you guys are talking about me?
Yeah.
Yes. He's the carrot and I'm the stick.
I thought we were still talking about Bottas here. No,
you, wake up.
Ruben Bottas.
Go ahead, hit the
Ruben Bottas.
The failure. There we go.
So you guys are getting them ready.
Is George Russell available to join us? So speaking of George Russell, there's no word. He was supposed to be announced as the other driver for Lewis Hamilton. Obviously, that did not come to pass at the British Grand Prix. We hear the consensus is that we believe that it will not happen. I still think that it will happen. I think Bottas is on his way out. That's kind of where there's smoke, there's fire, as my good friend that sits next to me, as I hit the microphone. My good friend that sits next to me, Yhancy, says, the Alfa Romeo rumor, the rumors of George Russell joining the team, I don't know.
And these seem to be like, I mean, obviously you have rumors, but when you have rumors that are breaking out into like the mainstream F1 media.
Like ESPN, dude?
Yeah.
It's not essentially sports.com.
It's like when the rumors started coming about with Fernando Alonso coming back to Renault, and you guys didn't believe me.
Okay, now we're in the opposite role where you guys don't believe.
Yeah. So listen, if I'm wrong, then I'll still be happy about it because it just creates more Netflix drama.
Yeah. Oh man!
But I don't think it's gonna happen.
I think this episode of Drive to Survive is gonna be good.
I think at the end of the day, for this one. But I
sent you an email.
It's gonna be a highlight. I don't check.
Yeah, it'll be. Drive to Survive is gonna be.
It's gonna be good. Aces. Yeah. So all right. So up in the air right now: George Russell, Valtteri Bottas, Kimi Räikkönen, and Antonio Giovinazzi.
The bullet.
Yo, what? I wonder, what would your reaction be if the Bergamo Bullet's no longer an F1?
He won't no longer be an F1. Ferrari would gladly take him back as like their simulator driver.
As reserve driver. He's still a Ferrari driver.
It would be sad for me though. Okay. And on that note, hey guys, this is Wellington from the Jump to Start Racing crew. Before we start, I want to make sure to tell you to destroy that like button and to make sure to hit subscribe to be up to date with our episodes and clips. Please make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Our handle on both platforms is @JumpTheStartF1. See you there.